I have always feared death. From as far back as I can remember, the thought of death has been a constant, unsettling presence in my mind. It wasn't just a vague fear, it was a deep, gnawing anxiety that brought with it a flood of questions. Where do we go? Is it forever? What does it feel like? These questions weren't just curiosities, they were driven by a profound realization that life as we know it is incredibly fragile and temporary. It's this fragility, this awareness that our existence can end at any moment that makes death such a terrifying prospect. As I grew older, that fear didn't diminish. If anything, it became more pronounced. The more I understood about life, the more I realized how delicate it was. Life is like a thread, easily broken, and once it snaps, there's no going back. The truth is, we live in a world where anything can happen and at any time, and we have very little control over that. This realization that death could come without warning forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth of our existence. We are temporary, and there's nothing we can do to change that. Until we fully accept these truths, we can't truly accept death. We can't come to terms with the fact that death is the natural conclusion of life, the final chapter in this story. This acceptance isn't about giving up or resigning ourselves to fate. It's about understanding the nature of life and recognizing that death is integral and is part of our nature. Death is the end of everything we know. It's the ultimate unknown, the void that awaits us all. But does it have to be something we see as inherently bad? I don't think so. And maybe death just is a fundamental part of the natural order. Not something to be feared, but something to be understood.
Use Mount Olivet Cemetery to be buried next to her.
Here's where the irony lies. It's death that creates value in our life. The fact that our time is limited, that our moments are numbered, that is what gives our moments meaning. If we lived forever, if there were no end, what would make life worth living? The relationships we cherish, the accomplishments we strive for, and the experiences we seek, they all derive, and their significance come from the knowledge that they won't last forever. Mortality is in many ways the miracle of life. It's what gives us a sense of urgency, what pushes us to live fully, to make our days count. Without the certainty of death, where would we find the motivation to seize the day, to love fiercely, to pursue our dreams?
Choose to remember those who've left us. From modest stone towers to headstones next to unrung bells to modern practices, let's explore how these rites are performed in the modern day culture. It is traditional to wear simple black clothes to a funeral. It's believed that this tradition came from ancient Roman culture.
One another, and experiences lose their significance. Without death, there is no reason to strive, no reason to push ourselves to be better, to create, to love. It is the awareness of our mortality that drives us to make the most of the time we have, to live with purpose and intention. In this way, mortality is not just a limitation, but it is a gift. And yet, we live in an age where science is edging closer to altering this natural order. The day science tries to change mortality to extend life indefinitely is the day we
roaring fire, and the loved ones gather around to watch their ancestor move on to the next realm. And Naban is a Hindu cremation ceremony in Bali, Indonesia. The family has made a coffin shaped like a bull or mythical animal crafted from bamboo, wood, and paper, symbolizing the soul's fight with the underworld as they battle to a higher realm. A war song plays at streets as the friends, family, and a brass band march from the home, funeral, church, to the cemetery. This practice is a blend of European and African marigolds. The strong fragrance of these flowers is thought to help guide the souls from their cemeteries to their family homes. Variations of the Day of the Dead do not reside only in Mexico, but also in Italy, Philippines, and the Czech Republic. In early April, 15 days after the spring equinox, there is a soft chorus of sweeping collected in the cemetery in remembrance of the Qingming festival. Gates are protected by willow branches as families en masse visit the tombs of their ancestors to clean the site and provide offerings for them to enjoy the afterlife. A family will burn offerings such as joss paper or spirit money, and paper sculptures of cars, houses, and servants. The Chinese belief is that the deceased can still use their material wealth in the afterlife. Are also celebrated in areas like Vietnam, Singapore, and South Korea. As the sun rises on an auspicious day determined by a local Malagasy astrologer, a tomb is exhumed in Madagascar. The body is unwrapped, rewrapped, and drenched in perfume before it is danced with to celebrate Famarihana, a time to spend with your loved ones, both living and deceased. The holiday began in the 17th century after a mass repatriation.